Hello everyone, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Lent. So if you're watching this on the day that this video releases, it is Ash Wednesday, which is the start of the Lenten season. And so Lent traditionally runs for the 40 days leading up to Easter. If you're looking at a calendar and counting, you may notice that that's not exactly 40 days. Well, Lent does not observe Sundays, or it doesn't apply to Sundays, and so it's the 40 days leading up to Easter minus Sundays. And everybody kind of has different traditions or different ways that they acknowledge Lent or work through Lent. And so I wanted to kind of share with you my heart and what I'm going to be doing through the Lent season. I've shared some things on Instagram and had some questions about that. And so I'm going to link a whole bunch of resources down below for you guys. I would encourage you to check those out just so you have an understanding of me and how I'm approaching this. I am not a Bible teacher. I am not a Bible scholar by any means, and so I'm not going to go into like the history of Lent and like all the scripture and all that, because there are men who have done that far better than I could ever do that, and I'm going to link those resources down below so you can check that out if you have those questions. But for me, I have attended a lot of different churches over the years and through the years, and just trying to figure out where I belong, where I feel most comfortable. And my roots are Baptist, and so we are currently at a Southern Baptist church. So just so you understand, that is the lens that I'm looking through when I look at this. Now, I don't for a second believe that when I get to heaven, it's only going to be Southern Baptist there. I don't believe that. I don't believe there's only going to be one right denomination. So just understand when I say that. I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong or anything like that, but that's just kind of the lens that I use when I go into these studies or approach something like Lent or like Advent or something like that. And so just understand that. Now, I live in an area that has a very large population of Catholics, and so my experience with Lent was through that. It was always like going to the grocery store after youth group on Wednesday and seeing everybody with ash on their foreheads and thinking, okay, I don't understand that. They're Catholic, I'm not, so Lent doesn't apply to me. That's a Catholic thing. And that is a silly way to think. So you, I think, need to be very responsible for your own study and pursuit of knowledge about things like that. Don't just write something off in that way that I did, because it's not the way to do it. So once I really dug in and started doing my own study and kind of looking into Lent and looking at what that looks like and what scripture says, I kind of had a different opinion and a different look at that. And so, like I said, definitely check out those resources. Those are some of the ones that I used. And so for me personally, I don't believe that any religious rituals make me more saved or give me favor in the eyes of God. That is not how I approach that. I don't believe that scripture supports that. For me, Lent is just a time and a season of spiritual focus for me. I don't believe that I'm any better than somebody else that doesn't observe Lent. I don't believe that I am any more saved, that I'm going to get a better place in heaven, anything like that based off of avoiding chocolate for 40 days or not logging into Facebook for 40 days. That's just not how I look at it. So now I would encourage you, maybe if you have Lenten traditions that have been passed down from your family, this is how your grandmother has done it, this is how your great-grandmother has done it for all these years, so that's how you do it. I would encourage you to do your own study and dig in and have a better understanding of what scripture says, and not to say that what they're doing is wrong, but I think it's so important for us to have our own relationship with God and develop that between us and Him, and not just because our parents took us to church for our whole lives, or our parents always did this for this holiday, or whatever it is. I would encourage you to do your own study. And so that is what I did. And through that time, I've developed kind of this approach for Lent. Is very similar to Advent for me. And so I know that I go through periods of time where I just lose focus. It's just reality of my world and my life is that it gets busy. Not that I have less faith or that I fall away from God, but God kind of gets put on a shelf and back burner, and being a mom, being a wife, dealing with my kids, my job, all that kind of starts to just be my focus. And so I use Lent and Advent as a time to just get spiritually focused and just have that reconnection with God and just kind of get my heart, it's a heart check. It's a good heart moment for me. And that's kind of how I approach it. So everything that I'm going to show you and everything that I plan on doing can be done at any time of the year. You can do this for any length of time. I just choose to do it during what is traditionally a season of Lent. Now, if you find that you were a mama and summer is when it's spiritually dry for you and you got the kiddos home, it's hot, you've got 50 billion activities and trips and you're busy and all these things are crazy, and you find that that's the time that you really need to get your heart checked and get in focus with God, then maybe that's the time that you want to pick up something that's titled a Lent study or an Advent study, and have a time of focused study and prayer. And so you can use the resources that I'm going to be showing today at any time of the year. It's not just for Lent. And so just kind of look into that and see what works for you. So all the disclaimers aside, check out those links down below. Gotquestions.org is a fantastic resource. That's one I use all of the time. It's pretty neutral as far as denominations go. I mean, they are very like hard in the sand about, you know, scripture says this, scripture does not support this. So just know that going into it. I think it's a pretty good resource, and I used that quite a bit. There is a podcast, and then there's a little clip from Matt Chandler that I actually got from my pastor. I kind of peeked in and was like, hey, this is kind of what I think. Is this okay? So he sent me that clip. So that is linked down below. Check that out. And so for Lent, I'm going to insert in some clips and some videos and some pictures so you can kind of get a better look at what I'm going to be doing. I won't be doing videos throughout this period of time on the things that I'm doing. It's going to be a very personal time between me and God, and I'm not going to share that online. I'm just going to kind of show you the resources. So if you want some inspiration, then you have that. So I'm going to be reading through the book, He Chose the Nails by Max Lucado. This was suggested by one of you when I mentioned that I was looking for a Lent study. So I instantly, like that second as I was reading your message, went over to Amazon and ordered it because I had done a Christmas study by Max Lucado. I will link that one down below. I think it's called Because of Bethlehem, something like that. It was fantastic, life-changing for me. And so, and just my approach to Christmas and that season. And so I was like, yes, if there is one for Lent, then I'm going to do that one too. So He Chose the Nails. This is a Lenten study, but it's not structured in a way where it's like, you know, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 40. It's not really like set up like that. It's not set up as far as like traditions of Lent, or you should be doing this, or like it's not set up that way. He is talking about like a continuation of Advent, that leading up to Easter, that these are gifts that God gave us during this season. The gift of Jesus, the gift of his death on the cross. I know it's kind of, I guess, crazy to think of that as being a gift, but it is a gift. The gift of him dying on the cross gave us the ability to have an eternity with God, and so that is a gift. And so he kind of approaches it in that way. So now I ordered the actual book, and so it's like 16 chapters, so again, not really set up for like a 40-day study. So I plan on just doing maybe like a chapter every other day. It gives me some flexibility. I know in my life I need that. I can't do a really rigorous like 40 session type thing, and so that kind of gives me some room to kind of breathe and that kind of thing. This particular book does have a study guide in the back that has some questions to just help you interact with what he is sharing in the book. There are also like videos online that you can get for free and watch. There's also like a Bible study. So if you want more of like a structured Bible study format, I believe it's like a 5-week session. Of course, if you're doing it on your own, you can kind of approach that however you want, but it's like a 5-week session that has videos and questions and things like that. So I will link that down below if you're looking for something kind of in that realm. I love Max Lucado studies that I've done. He's very knowledgeable, and like I said, they always kind of just changed my thinking on some things. Or like for Christmas, it made me totally change how we approach Christmas, and the consumerism and the gifts and all that kind of craziness really kind of got my heart in a better place when it came to Christmas. And so I'm hoping I will get the same thing out of that book. So in addition to that, I'm going to be working in a traveler's notebook. So this one specifically is from By the Well for God. I will link it down below. You can work in any traveler's notebook, any journal, whatever you want to work in, this is what I'm working in. It's just a blank traveler's notebook. And then I got a prayer calendar from Hillary at Creative Faith Co. So I know for me personally that my prayer life is somewhere where that's the first thing to go. When I get busy, when I get distracted, prayer is the first thing that I set aside. And I know that that's not right. I know that I need to strengthen my prayer life. So I'm going to be taking these 40 days to have focused prayer time. And so I'm going to be using this notebook for prayer journaling. So I'm actually going to write out prayers in this notebook. And so Hillary was super sweet. Over on her blog, you can get a prayer calendar for free. So she has laid out a calendar. It's not dated, so you can use it at any time. And it just gives you a different prompt every day and something to pray for. So missionaries, your church, your relationship, your children. So there's just different topics to give you a focused prayer topic each day. And then in addition to that, if you want some more resources, over in her Etsy shop, you can purchase some additional printables to go along with that free calendar. So she's got a printable that includes like hand-lettered versions of those prompts, and it's got some like graphics and things like that. It also has another calendar that has some scripture for each prompt. So if you're looking for maybe a scripture writing or just scripture to go along with those prompts, you can pick up that as well. So what I did, and I'm going to try to insert some video here, is I printed that on clear sticker paper and then just cut out those prompts and inserted them into my traveler's notebook. I turned on a video from Allie Brown, watercolor plopping, and basically just did what she does in her journals. Just splashes of watercolor, some stamping, just some little art marks, just because color and paint make me happy. And so just giving myself like a basis of color in my traveler's notebook that I'm going to be prayer journaling in. And so I'm going to just kind of show you how I put that together. I know I'm going to get questions. No, I didn't link down below everything that I used because a lot of the stuff I used is discontinued. It's a lot of old stamp sets and things like that. And so I just pulled what makes my heart happy, the things that I love to see, and put that in this notebook because I hope that that's going to encourage me to stick with this and to do it every day because it's things that I like to look at. So I know a lot of you come to my channel just for the artwork, and please continue to come to my channel just for the art because I am not a Bible scholar. I didn't go to college for that. You're not here for doctrine lessons or anything like that. And so going forward, I will continue to just share artwork and things like that. And I won't be sharing my prayer journaling because that's going to be personal. I may occasionally do a Bible journaling process if I'm responding to something from the Max Lucado book, but a lot of that study is going to be behind scenes. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys some resources, maybe to kind of just get you to think about how you're approaching Lent. I'm also going to be linking down below some of the other things that are out there. So Illustrated Faith has printables, which are fantastic. I've used them in years past. They have a couple different sets that are cards with scriptures. So if you just want to read the scripture, if you want to scripture journal, put together a mini book, there's all kinds of great ideas out there. I've already seen them on Instagram, different people creating binders and mini books and all kinds of fun things. So you just need to go through and figure out what's going to work for you. This is what's going to work for me. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below. I can't guarantee that I can answer all your questions. I will try to point you in the right direction. Please go into that with some kindness and love and grace. I know we've talked about that a lot on my channel, and just understand that we're probably all coming from different backgrounds and different beliefs, and this is just me personally, and this is just how I'm going to approach it. So just understand that before you get in the comments and question things or say certain things. Just kind of remember that before you speak or speak to others. And so grace and kindness. But if you have genuine questions or comments, please leave those down below. Check out the description box. Like I said, I'll have links to all those resources for you guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.